If you're a watcher of New Japan from the 2010s, you may have noticed a tag team of two veterans. Which tag team am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about the team of Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima, or Tenkoji. Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima have seemingly always been linked to each other, no matter what. Their paths always crossed, whether it was in the beginning of their careers, the middle of their careers, and now, at least in the case of Hiroyoshi Tenzan, the end of their careers. But I want to offer a very short, very brief retrospective at Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima's careers, covering their interactions together from the 90s to the 2000s, and then we wrap it off in the 2010s. So, to start off with the early 90s, Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima each debuted in the early 90s. For Tenzan, his debut was in January of 1991. For Kojima, it was in July of 1991. Whereas Tenzan joined the NJPWWORLD dojo in 1990, Kojima wouldn't join the dojo until February of 1991. For Tenzan, his debut match came against Osamu Matsuda on January 11th, losing to Matsuda in 6 minutes. Matsuda would later go on to become El Samurai, but we could talk about him, and as well the other NJPW Junior Heavyweights in a later video. For Kojima, he'd make his debut in July of 1991. His opponent? Hiroyoshi Tenzan. Yes, Kojima made his debut against Hiroyoshi Tenzan, losing to Tenzan in just 5 minutes. No footage of these matches, as far as I am aware of, exists, but we do have footage of their time as a young lion. We actually have footage of them teaming up in 1992 to take on the team of Koji Kanemoto and Osamu Nishimura, with Tenzan and Kojima winning in about 12 minutes, after Tenzan making what I assume to be Nishimura tap out with the Boston Crab. This match is average, it focuses on Kojima and Tenzan working over Nishimura, but we do see Kojima and Tenzan working well together as a team. Now, after this match, these two would continue their careers, either facing off against or teaming up against each other as Young Lions. As well, the two men both would win the Young Lion Cup. Tenzan would win it in 1993, and Kojima would win it in 1994. Tenzan would eventually go on excursion in 1993 to Germany before coming back at the Tokyo Dome in 1995, and from there would have a breakout year, forming the team of Okami Gundan with Masahiro Chono and Hiro Saito, and would earn an IWGP title opportunity at just 23 years old. Even though the IWGP title opportunity ended in failure, he'd still go on to eventually win the IWGP Tag Team titles with Chono, and would have a fun series of matches against Shinya Hashimoto and Junji Harada over the Tag Team Gold. Meanwhile, what does Satoshi Kojima do? Well, Kojima, as mentioned previously, won the Young Lion Cup in 1994. From there, he'd go on excursion to Germany in 1995, and then in 1996 would make his return to NJPW at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th against Hiroyoshi Tenzan. In a 9-minute match, Tenzan would defeat Satoshi Kojima after Tenzan hit a diving headbutt. From then on, afterwards, the pair would be mostly separated. Tenzan would go on to join the NWO Japan stable, as Masahiro Chono would take his already existing Okami Gundan stable, a stable which Tenzan was a part of, and merge it with the NWO, following Chono's entry into the group. Meanwhile, Satoshi Kojima would be slotted firmly into NJPW's mid-card tag scene, forming the team of Bull Powers alongside fellow young wrestler Manabu Nakanishi. The duo of Nakanishi and Kojima would even win the IWGP Tag Team Championships at the Osaka Dome on the 3rd of May 1995, defeating the team of Riki Choshu and Kensuke Sasaki. As for interactions between Kojima and Tenzan, the two wouldn't interact with each other much, only facing off against each other in tag team matches throughout 1996 and parts of 1997. However, fate, once again, would bring the two together.
NWO Japan Tenzan Hiroyoshi 入場。
11000人超満員の両国国技館です。
小島聡入場。
In the 1997 G1 Climax, the format for this year would be a round-robin style tournament, as opposed to the usual block league style tournaments the G1 is known for. However, I personally find the 1997-1998 G1 tournaments, two tournaments that use this format, really fun because of the change of pace. Both Kojima and Tenzan would be in the G1 this year. Tenzan squared off against Tadao Yasuda, and Kojima went up against Lord Steven Regal. Both men would win their respective matches, leading to this match. As far as the match itself is concerned, It is a fun, intense, and explosive 11-minute match where it seemed like either man had the edge to win. The crowd was firmly behind Kojima's explosive underdog offense as Kojima put everything he had to win. In the end, however, Tenzan would hit a TTD and then a moonsault, picking up the victory as Kojima leaves out on a stretcher. A match I'd recommend you check out as, to me at least, it's very, very fun. Following this encounter, the two would meet again in an NJPW arena at least, as they had a match at a benefit show in December 1997 in singles competition until 1998, as the pair went back to their respective positions within the company, with both actually being part of the NWO Japan vs NJPW feud, even being a part of a massive 12-man tag team match in February of 1998. But their next singles match wouldn't come until the G1 of 1998, with the two facing off against each other in the first round. Once again, the pair would have another 11-minute explosive match. This time around, however, Kojima would be the one to finally secure the victory with a massive barrage of lariats. Kojima, following this win, would advance all the way to the semifinals before losing to eventual G1 Climax winner Shinya Hashimoto. However, Kojima's career in the following months would change forever, as a certain leader of NWO Japan was watching Kojima's trajectory with great interest. In October of 1998, Satoshi Kojima joined NWO Japan after being recruited into the group by then NWO Japan leader Keiji Muto. Despite the at first mistrust by his new stablemates, he'd end up earning the respect of the group and, along with this, would form a tag team that ends up defining the rest of his career. The team in question, of course, being Tenkoji. What more is there to be said about Tenkoji? I mean, they've won the IWGP Tag Team Championship 6 times. They're a 2-time NJPW Tag League winner, and as well, they've also won the AJPW Real World Tag League at least once. The duo has seemingly done all there is to do in the world of pro wrestling, and the first taste of tag team glory came on January 4th, 1989, when they would defeat the team of Shiro Koshinaka and Genichiro Tenryu to capture their first IWGP Tag Team Championships together as a team. From there, the group would battle both the main army of NJPW and as well would side with Keiji Muto and NWO Japan against Masahiro Chono and his Team 2000 stable. Even when NWO Japan was forced to break up following Muto's defeat to Chono on the January 4th Tokyo Dome show in the year 2000, Tenzan and Kojima formed a temporary final stand against Team 2000, taking them on before eventually joining them. But even then, the duo would eventually rebel against Team 2000 and Chono, taking on their members in tag bouts, eventually defeating Chono and Team 2000 in 2002. However, by 2002, NJPW was changing. Inoki's desire to merge MMA and pro wrestling affected NJPW hard. Stars like Shinya Hashimoto left, and despite business still being at least passable, NJPW was dealt a very heavy blow when one of their biggest stars in Keiji Muto would defect to NJPW, taking with them Satoshi Kojima. In an emotional night on January the 24th, Satoshi Kojima wrestled what was thought to be his last match as a full-time contracted NJPW wrestler, teaming with Hiroyoshi Tenzan and defeating the team of Kensuke Sasaki and Osamu Nishimura. Following his departure, Kojima only made sporadic appearances to NJPW. He'd actually teamed with Tenzan the following year in 2003, but Tenkoji as a full-time team was dead, and it seemed like it forever stood that way, especially when Tenzan and Kojima became rivals, fighting over the IWGP Triple Crown Championship and G1 Climax in the years 2005 and 2006, with both of them wanting to protect their respective companies' honor. However, somehow, someway, the pair's bond always seems to be unbreakable. Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima, despite the past 2 years feuding, would work together, reigniting the Tenkoji team for the 2006 AJPW Real World Tag League, and there, they would make their way to the finals, and when Kojima would hit a powerful lariat, capture said tag league. From then on, the pair, despite working in separate companies, still occasionally would team up, even winning the 2008 NJPW Tag League. When Kojima returns to NJPW in the year 2010, by 2011, the pair would finally begin to kickstart Tenkoji full-time once again. Over the course of their careers, no matter how far apart they were from one another, the duo always found a way to be linked to one another, no matter what. Whether it was through their time as Young Lions, through faction wars, through tag teams, and through promotional conflicts, the bond the two men shared in the wrestling ring was always unbreakable, and it can never be separated. And when NJPW returns to Ryogoku Sumo Hall on August the 15th, for the last time the pair will share a ring together. But unlike in the past where there could have been an inkling of conflict, this time the pair fight one another out of respect, as Hiroyoshi Tenzan bids farewell to his legendary career.